Boy, man, he should have been listening to when I was talking about Gus. He should have been listening. And, of course, like I said, that's what I said to Angela. I said, look, this isn't about you, me, and Gus, Angela. Dean Clifford's listening on the phone. Dean Clifford got charged with gun possession, which is probably the more serious charge than having pot up there in Canada, because now they sell pot on the vending machines. I said, so, you know what, I'm explaining exactly how Gus got arrested for the guns, exactly what happened to him. I'm trying to show Dean what we did down here in the United States to help Gus. Well, what I did to help Gus. This is how we do it down here in the United States. Maybe he could do the same thing up there in Canada. Maybe he could figure out what I'm saying by listening to what happened with Gus. Maybe he could learn something. And then Mark tells me today, he's like, you know what, he wasn't listening to all that stuff that you were saying. I said, Angela, I said, look, I'm trying to explain this in great detail. Well, if Dean didn't catch on, other people now.
He missed the beginning, I think, of the call because he
no,
came
people
on
said
late.
that he was on. No, people said that he was on the call, that he was logged on. Did he listen? I don't know. Because Angela kept saying to me, call, it was like, 10 minutes into the call with me talking to Gus, and she kept trying to say, call, Dean's on the phone, call, Dean's on the phone, call, Dean's on the phone. I said, and? I'm talking to Gus. And then she said, okay, who's the next caller online? And then she said, somebody named John. I said, okay, well, now, and she said, but call, you keep talking to John, and Dean's on the phone. It's like, okay, so what, he's the second coming of Christ? I'm supposed to give a rat's ass that this guy's on? He's wait his turn like everybody else. If he doesn't want to do the star 8 and queue up like everybody else, what do you want me to do? Tell everybody else to take the back seat of the bus just because Dean's on? Why? It doesn't make any sense to me. He can wait his turn like everybody else. Oh, that's right, I'm an anarchist, that's right. Everybody's equal. Nobody rules nobody. Oh, that's a shame. You say anarchy like it's a bad thing. Well, then, obviously, a democratic form of government would always make an anarchy seem like it's insane, because we should have a consensus of the learned, of the wise. And to me, democracy is simple, like the Greeks found out, it's just mob rules. And when everybody wanted Socrates to die, he just, they voted that he died. It's like, well, who wants me to die? Well, it's a secret ballot. We can't tell you who wants you to die, but you know what? You got blackballed, so guess what? You die. But hey, wait a second, that's not fair. Be able to meet the people who want me to die and ask them why they want me to die. What did I do to them? Why should I die? Nope. That's not how democracy works. Nope. Our laws say democracies work this way. Oh, well, dude, you're screwed. Sucks to be you. Next time, come back in the form of an anarchy kind of, an anarchist, come back in that form of government, Too bad you live in a democracy. Democracy is mob rules. One man, one vote. Oh, that sounds lovely. One man, one vote. Yeah, until you got a land of morons. A land of people who, decided, like, let's take all the stuff from the rich and give it all to the poor. Yeah, let's do that. Let's all give it to the lazy and the worthless. Let's give it to the people who don't go up and go to work. It's just like me. What's going on? Today's Sunday. Yay. Today's Father's Day. Yay. What am I doing? I'm putting in a septic system. Why? Because the sunlight's burning and God gave me the ability, so I get up and I go to work. Oh, no, Carl. It's a holiday, or there's a number. It's a 21, or it's a Sunday, or it's a this, or it's a that. No, it's another opportunity for me to produce. It's another opportunity for me to work. That's what it is. It's another opportunity for me to accomplish something, or whatever limited hours and days that God gave me on this planet. Oh, well, see, Carl, if you keep working Sundays, you're going to get more than your neighbor gets. You're going to take advantage of the fact that you're willing to work 7 days a week, so we should make laws that you could only work 40 hours a week, just like they do with tractor-trailer drivers. When I was a tractor-trailer driver, they tried to say that we could only drive 70 hours a week, which was insane. It was total insanity. It was 168 hours in a week. What in holy am I going to do for 100 hours a week on the side of a highway? I'm just going to sit there and watch other trucks go by? What am I going to do with the other 100 hours? That's ridiculous. So I drive for 10 hours. Now what do? The other 14 hours a day, what do? Look out the windshield? Count the cars going by? It's like, well, the government says I'm tired. The government says I can't drive. It's like, look, a monkey can drive this thing. This is so simple. You keep it in the middle of the two white lines. It's a straight highway. This is ridiculous. I'm out in the middle of Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, Nebraska. This is a straight line. This is retarded. Well, the government knows best, man. The government knows, man. You better sleep. Look, I'll sleep when I get tired. I don't need somebody to tell me when to sleep. So obviously guys like me kept 3 logbooks. Obviously guys like me drove 110 hours a week, and they say, oh, my God, that's ungodly. You can't do that. Look, if I drove 70 hours a week, I'd have basically made minimum wage. I would have basically just made enough just to survive. By driving an extra 40 hours a week, I actually made a profit. I actually made an income. I actually had something to say at the end of the week, wow, it was worth getting up and being away from home for 6 weeks at a time. It was actually worth it. I actually made an extra $1,000 a week. I come home, I got $6 extra grand in my pocket. I don't come home with all that extra mileage under my belt. Guess what? I come home with nothing extra in my pocket, and just enough to pay the bills and keep the house afloat. But nothing to go buy a kid a present or nothing. You guys got to understand this kind of simple stuff like this. You know, when they try to say that, you know, like anarchy is a bad thing. What, self-governing is a bad thing? Of course it is. When somebody's in charge of the mob, the guy who's ever in charge of the mob is always going to say, well, self-ruling is ridiculous. You know, whatever you do something wrong. Well, it's called personal liability. And that means that the rest of the people in the community will get together, and they will hunt me down, and they will make me compensate that man or woman that I took advantage of, or that I hurt, or that I did it wrong to. Anarchy doesn't mean lawless. Anarchy just means there's nobody on the top running the show. Everybody bears their own personal liability for doing wrong. So it's like, say, it's like something simple. It's like, say, President of the United States puts his finger on a button and blows up half the world or whatever. Whatever. He calls, you know, declares war. You know, wag the dog kind of thing. Let's declare war because I got caught, you know, with an intern, having sex with an intern. So let's just start a bullshit war in the middle of nowhere, and let's get all the attention focused this way and off of me. Okay? Well, when you get caught, you know, starting a bullshit war for no good reason, why should the American people have to tolerate such an act? Or why should the people that you attacked not be compensated? Well, what was the purposes of the United States going over there in the first place? Then it's like they used to do, they would just go after the king. They wouldn't go after the whole people. They'd go kill the king. But they don't want to kill, you know, obviously the people in charge now, you know, they don't want to say, well, wait a second. You mean if we get caught like Bush, it's like now they're all trying to say, wait a second. Can't we hold this guy liable? Like, I'm trying to remember, it's Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld and George Bush. I think they're all scared shitless to go over to France or Switzerland or something like that. They're all scared because there's some sort of war out there, like international war criminals they're considered now. So none of them will, like, leave to go over to European countries because they don't know if they're going to be extradited to Geneva or Switzerland, wherever they're going to be brought to. It's pretty funny. These other guys are like, no, we're the most powerful people on planet Earth. The whole world can't gang up on us and say we did something wrong. Because I can imagine if these guys went on trial, they'd be like, wait a second. It was 6 Saudi Arabian guys who did what they did. Explain to us once again, the people of the world, why you attacked millions of people that had nothing to do with it. Explain this. Oh, that's what I'm saying. I mean, can you imagine if those guys went on trial? They actually had to explain it. Or if they did like, you know, somebody like me, when you went on YouTube and you found out on September the 10th, 2001, Donald Rumsfeld says, well, we have some disturbing news. The Department of Defense, we can't find $1 trillion. Yeah, we had a little accounting error, and we can't find the $1 trillion. And yeah, we're looking into it. You know, we're pulling the records, we're pulling the books, and the books are in the side of the Pentagon where it's going to get hit by a missile tomorrow. And but we got backup copies, and they're in Building 7 up in New York City at the World Trade Center. So we're going to get right on it, and we're going to find out where that $1 trillion went. You know, but we're going to have to move fast because tomorrow Building 7 is just going to happen to fall down, and the room that kept all the records is going to actually get a missile through the side wall. Or, I mean, an airplane through the side wall tomorrow. So we got to move quick and find out where this $1 trillion went. You know, we'll get to the bottom of it. We'll find out who the dirty crooks are who stole all this money. So you better believe they were scared out of their mind to go on trial. Because they said, wait a second, didn't this all have to do with that you were trying to cover up a $1 trillion accounting error? Didn't this all start because of that? Isn't that what this is really all about? And they're going to have to answer it. Because they know they can't control the media over there like they can control the media over here. Like, don't nobody dare mention the $1 trillion that is missing. Don't dare mention that this happens to be in the same room that the Pentagon hit in. Don't dare mention it happens to be in Building 7 that didn't get hit even with debris. Don't dare mention that. And everybody just went along. So like I said, when you see stuff like that and you're me, after a while you just say to yourself, you know what, I don't want to be involved. You know what, this is just too much. You know what, don't get me involved with this United States government. You know what, I have no say. I have no control. To me, it feels ridiculous. Why would I want to be part of a government that's doing this silly stuff? It doesn't make any sense. What would be the benefit? Why would I want to be associated with a group that does stuff like that? You know, it doesn't sound decent. It doesn't sound honorable. Why would I want to get involved? Why would I want my name attached to something like that? Why would I want women and children from all over the world say, you part of this? No, not me, man. Like, so I was talking to somebody from Canada yesterday. He said, you know, a lot of your people walk around with Canadian maple leaves on their luggage instead of American flags. I said, oh, yeah, I believe it. They don't want to get involved. They don't want people to spit at them. They don't want to start nothing with nobody. I said, oh, I believe it. Put a maple leaf on your luggage is a lot safer than putting an American flag on your luggage. People, like they say, when Dean just don't understand, you know, what's going on. Like, what's the big picture here? You know, it's all about his gun charge. It's all about his drug charge. It's like, do you understand why they're doing all this? Do you understand why they're controlling you and getting you to chase all this ridiculous nonsense instead of just saying, wait a second. U.S. citizen, what? Legal person, what? I'm just a man. You know what? I don't want to get involved with nothing anymore. I'm done. It's like, you want to charge him with guns? Charge him with guns. You want to charge him with too much bubble gum? Charge him. You know what? I'm done. I'm done answering to you people. I'm not answering to you people. I'm not doing it. I'm going to rely on the old, you know, trial by combat, trial by ordeal. I'm just going man on man. Who's the man that says I've done something wrong? That's all I want to hear. I don't want to hear no more bullshit. I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of all the bullshit excuses why we can't have guns, why we can't have this, why we can't have that. And you guys can make $1 trillion disappear, blow up a couple of buildings, but you're not supposed to answer to that. No, that's off bounds. That's pushing it, Carl. You shouldn't be asking stuff like that. You should be worrying about why Dean Clifford has a gun in his house. That should be your main concern. It's like, you're kidding me. Give me a real damn problem. It's just all misdirection. They all got you worried about, like, oh, man, am I going to have a gun? Am I going to go to jail if I get a gun? You know, is this going to happen to me? Because honestly, it's nobody's business on planet Earth what the fuck is going on in your house. And we got a lot bigger things to be looking at and a lot more serious problems than this silly shit. Now, post a real reason why. So what's your real agenda? What's really going on? What's your angle? What's really in it for you? And that's what being New York. That's being, what do they call it, cynical? They say, oh, look, he's another cynical New Yorker. No, it's because everybody gets up to make money. Somebody says that to me. He says, oh, it's all about money. Yeah, medium of exchange, yeah. I give you ideas, you give me ideas, or I solve your problem. You give me cash, currency, okay. It's all about money? Absolutely. Everybody gets up every day to acquire some sort of a medium of exchange. They're getting up to do something, to acquire something. What they're acquiring, I don't care. It could be love, it could be hugs, it could be coin, it could be whatever they wish it to be. Whatever they believe is fair and equitable. So like I said, they try to make it seem like it's a dirty word. Like, oh, Carl, it's all about money. Yep, you got it. You know, why do you think Jesus Christ got up every day? He wanted to get converts. He wanted to get disciples. He wanted to go on a mission. He wanted to teach people. He wanted something. He set out every morning to accomplish something. And if he got one more person to believe in him, he had a good day. That was his money. He went out there and spoke. He went out there and preached the word, and he converted another disciple to his following. So, and he had a good day. That's what he wanted. And then along the way, people obviously donated to Jesus Christ. Because how did he survive without people donating to his mission? Some people say, oh, Carl, you owe no money. Yeah, I'm going to get the word out. How did Jesus Christ do it? He did it the same damn way I did it. So what's your problem? You got a problem with the way Jesus Christ did it too? Oh, Jesus Christ came out there and he did what he did? You say, oh, look, dude, you're all about the money. Yeah, he wants something in exchange. Or he could just lay around in bed all day. But he decided to get up and do something. And he worked harder or longer or faster or better than the other ones that were preaching back then. He capitalized on other people's slackness or other people's inability to get the message across. Yeah, he capitalized. He took advantage of somebody else's situation. He worked 7 days a week if he had to. He did whatever he had to do because it was worth it to him. So how did he get compensated? However he got compensated, it's called money. Whether it's hugs, kisses, adulation, disciples, followers, whatever. Coin, food, drink, whatever. I was going to say that food and wine, the Last Supper, didn't appear on its own at that table. Somebody had to provide it. Somebody had to get it. Somebody had to get up and go to work. And I don't remember any of the disciples being winemakers. I don't remember any of the disciples being bakers. Somebody had to go to work. It wasn't them. So, like I said, I get pretty, I get tired of having to explain things all the time to people like that. You people got to get up and you got to work. You got to learn how to do this stuff. It ain't just going to fall magically in your lap. It's a lifestyle. Today's Sunday. I hope every single one of you went outside and sweated sometime today. Oh, no, it's Father's Day. Oh, yeah, please, give it a rest. Oh, it's Sunday. It's day of national football and beer drinking. Oh, yeah, call. Yes, give it a rest. It's a lifestyle. If you're not out there busting ass every freaking day, you're not going to get this. You just think you're just going to sit around and, Google it, go on YouTube. It's a lifestyle. You got to understand that it's you that's going to make this happen. It's not somebody's going to come by and give you a form and say, just fill out this form, put in these magic words, and you're good to go. It's ridiculous. It's self-preservation. If you don't understand the concepts about self-preservation. I'm trying to think of anything else amazing that happened this week. Like I said, the only other thing I could think of in the news that was amazing was all those folks got shot and killed in South Carolina. That was some crazy shit.
Hey, Carl, I read last night there was a cop in Los Angeles. 2 cops pull up to a guy that's flagging him down. He had a towel wrapped around his hand, and
right.
they thought he had a gun in the towel, and they shot him in the head, and he had hurt himself, and he was trying to flag him down, and he was Hispanic, and apparently there was a language barrier, and they just shot him. And it was on video. It's awful. It's really awful. It's horrible.
They're only going to be charged with negligence. That's all. Yep. It was an accident. It was an accident. That's what negligence is.
Yeah.
Accident means an accident.
It was an accident, but it's their mindset,
Oh yeah, that when you see that color of a person or that age group or that they profile stereotype, and that's what I'm saying. I always believe that. I was always to me. I'm a big, goofy-looking white dude. Looks like I'm a crazy biker. I always expect that from them. I never not expect that from them. It's just how you understand the culture and the society in which you live in. You got to understand. It's a miracle when a cop doesn't pull a gun on me. And like I said, when I had a young guy in my pickup truck in Alabama before I think I had met him over my channel in 2000, and I told him, I was driving an old pickup truck, I said to him when we got pulled over, I said, put your hands on the rear view mirror, because I had one of those long extended mirrors. I said, put your hand on the rear view mirror, and don't take it off the mirror until I tell you to. He's like, what? I said, I said, look, I'll give you 2 more seconds because the cop's walking through the car. You put your hands on that rear view mirror, or I'll break your fucking arms and I'll put them on the mirror. I said, give you 2 choices. Either you put them on or I'll put them on. I'll break them. And I'll wrap them around. Your arms will be broken out that side of that window. That cop's going to come here and feel safe and secure. We're going to have no accidents. I want to go home alive tonight. So I put my hands on the rear view mirror, the big extended mirrors I had. I told the officer said license registration. I asked the officer, can you please handcuff me to my mirrors, my driver's license and registration is already on the roof of the car. Can you please handcuff me? Please handcuff me. He said, that won't be necessary. I said, please, if you don't, I said, I got a pair of handcuffs hanging off this rear view mirror. I will handcuff myself. I want no accidents. When they find my dead body, I want my dead body to have handcuff marks on it. That's how I understood the way I looked and the way he looked and the culture I lived in. There was no misconception on my part exactly how I was being stereotyped. And I just learned to live with it. And you could say it's not fair and all this other shit. I don't give a crap. Because you're dealing with a human being, and this is how they are by nature. You can't help them. If they're afraid, they're afraid. Whether it's a good reason to be afraid or a bad reason to be afraid, bottom line is they are afraid of me. Bottom line is I want to go home alive. Bottom line is, you know what, I'm not going to fucking give them no shit. I'm not going to give them a reason. I know I don't look like a koala bear. I don't look like a cute and adorable panda bear. I'm a big, ugly dude. And I understand they should be afraid, very afraid, because people like me have been portrayed through history as being hateful, evil, cruel. So why would they think? It's like when you see a snake, why would you think you could cuddle it? Why, if you see a scorpion, what makes you think, oh, this scorpion is the cutest, nicest scorpion in the world? Yeah, right. You know what? I'm still going to either run like hell. If I see you going near my kid, it's going to die. Bottom line, you're going to die. Well, I'm the world's nicest snake. Yeah. Sure, yeah. You know what? I ain't taking a chance. I want to go home and see my wife and kids. You know, so like I said, when people try to bash the cops, I especially said it on Angela's show because I know a lot of people listen to that show. So when you people start bad-mouthing these cops, you've got to put yourselves in their shoes, you know. And I wanted to be a cop when I was a kid. My uncle explained why I shouldn't be a cop, how it's not like you see on TV. Nothing like you see on TV. My uncle, you know, he was right around the middle of the 70s, right around the Serpico time. So, I mean, Serpico movie wasn't out yet. but my uncle was living right through the Serpico stuff. So, you know, he explained to me, it's nothing like you see on TV. Don't even think for a second there was some sort of knights in shining armor, because you'll be sadly disappointed. The only other thing that I know that really happened this week was those folks down in South Carolina, South Carolina, Charleston, got shot, killed. Yeah. And it was so funny when I swear to God, because I wouldn't lie about something like this. My wife joined a missionary Baptist church in Las Vegas, and she would drag me to their church, which I didn't mind. That's where they wanted me to be a deacon at the church. And I really liked one of the deacons because he was a bricklayer by trade, so I really respected him. When he shook your hand, he didn't shake it like you were squeezing a marshmallow. You were squeezing the hand of a man that went to work. You know, Jesus Christ was a carpenter. God bless him. You know, I appreciate somebody who actually goes to work for them. Then you want to talk to me about salvation and everything else. That's fine, but you better be working for a living. You better have calluses on your hands if you think you're going to tell me what it means to be a man. Don't think you're going to tell me what it means to be a man, and you got a Stay Puft Marshmallow hand grip. I ain't listening. Because the pastor of the church had a Stay Puft Marshmallow man. You know, I couldn't stand that guy. You know, don't be talking to me about what's right or wrong until you went out there and lived as a man. Then tell me the real deal. Then tell me what works. Then tell me what you believe is true. But don't think you're going to be an armchair quarterback and live your life through reading a book and tell me what the Bible says. Oh, no. Don't waste your time with bullshit things. So what was funny is the wife used to drag me to church, and for some reason, people like sitting in a certain location. I don't know, it makes you feel good that you're in the front row or something like that. I don't know. But for some reason, she was, I think, third pew, second seat, or second pew, third seat. I don't know. Every freaking week, you know, she'd go bananas if somebody was in her seat. And I was like, I couldn't care less. And I always sat in the last row right by the door. Swear to God, no bullshit. Last row, always by the door. And it's so funny. In a Baptist church, if you guys have been to Baptist church, it's pretty funny. Everybody talks. People say their piece, which is kind of funny, because I come from a Catholic church, and when I grew up in New York, they spoke Latin. Very pomp and circumstance, very coordinated, very regimental. It was amazing watching. What a performance these guys put on every week. And these people, I guess they like do revivals or something like that. It's hysterical just watching these people perform. Everybody's talking, everybody's yelling stuff out. It's very fun. I think it's very fun. Very good participation. And I never witnessed nothing like that. I never seen nothing like that in my life, so I thought it was very funny. So anyway, they used to always say, are there any other sinners who's just joined this congregation? And they would all look back at me. Like, nope, is anybody going to be baptized today? Like, nope, I already took a shower. I'm fine. I got mine covered. I'm fine. Are you sure? Just come on up. Any sinful people or any whatever, blah, blah, blah people. I was like, nope, I got it covered. Thanks anyway. You guys turn around and look the other way. I'm fine. I'm covered. So it's so funny. The deacon actually asked me that. He said to me, why do you sit in the last seat by the door? I said, that's about the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. He's like, why is that? I said, because I don't see a single one of you. Not a single one of you men here. I don't see a single one of you providing security for the women. He's like, what? Why isn't one of the men sitting back here, or the congregation sitting back here, just in case somebody comes in with a AK-47 and decides to light the place up? Believe me, as soon as some clown opens that door, he walks in with something in his hands, I'm all over that asshole like you got no idea. They're like, oh, stop. You're just sitting back here. I said, and it's also a benefit. As soon as you guys are done running your lips, I'm the first one out the door. I said, so it's an added benefit for me to secure and protect this place. I also get to be the first one to get out the door to make sure there's nobody waiting for anybody when they get outside. So, yay, it's win-win for me. And the guy thought I was crazy. But this was a New York City lifestyle. You would never, ever be stupid enough to turn your back to everything that's coming could possibly come in through that door behind you. What are you, out of your effing mind? Don't you understand what could happen to you? Do you understand what could happen to the women and the children? They're senseless. They're busy or wrapped up singing to Jesus or whatever else the hell they're doing. Well, that's great. You let the women and the children do what they got to do. You never forget that God put you on this earth to be a man. And you protect those women and children. He don't need you to be a singing bird. He don't need you to be praising to the old high Jesus. He needs you to be a man and protect your women and children. That's what he created you to be. Next time you come back, you be one of the women, okay? And then you don't got to worry about it. Maybe I might come up from behind. I said, I could not believe that somebody was women and children. I could not believe it. I said, no, I'm not packing a gun here. I had a $9 in the back. I'm not packing a piece coming into here. I said, but believe me, if anybody walks in here with a piece, oh, I'm all over them. He ain't getting 2 feet through that door before I nail this clown. I said, you better believe I'm watching everybody come in and everybody go out. I'm watching every freaking move. I said, so, he's like, oh, that's ridiculous. You worried about that nonsense. Well, look what happened in Carolina. Why wasn't, I'm sure the Moore Brotherhood probably got their shit a lot more tight than these people did. I'm sure the Moore Brotherhood would watch people walking in and out real careful. Thinking like, look, we're going to be ambushed. Some clown's going to light this place up someday. We better be ready. Now, why these guys didn't have that mentality, I don't know. But to me, it's a lifestyle. I feel bad that that guy lit up the room. But it's a shame that none of the men knew how to act as a man. It's a damn shame. When that guy started lighting up, it's just a damn shame. So I'm not trying to make fun of the people, trying to, say anything bad about the people, but I'm just trying to warn other people. It's a life. What I do is a lifestyle. What you're witnessing in court is a lifestyle. How you act in court is a lifestyle. They want to see if you know how to act like a man when you walk into that arena, when you walk into that form. They see how I walk in. Like I said, I met some girl. She looked exactly like before. There was no Kim Kardashian back in the 1990s, and I had a picture for the longest time saying I won the bet on my website. But somebody, everybody used to ask me what the hell was the bet about. I was like, I better take this down. But anyway, when she met me, we went out to L.A. I flew out to L.A. I won a bet. She put me up for the weekend because I won a bet. And when I went out to L.A., she takes me to Universal Studios, and we do the Universal Studio things. Then she takes me to Gladstones. Don't ever go to Gladstones. The food there sucks. Okay, it's the end of Universal Studios. It's supposed to be a famous restaurant there. It sucks. Don't waste your money. So anyway, the next day, I go to get on the airport to leave. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, I try to put on my shirt. She takes off my pants. I try to put on my pants. She takes off my shirt. She won't let me leave. So I missed the 9 o'clock flight. Then I try to leave at 11. Missed the 11 o'clock flight. Finally get on the 1 o'clock flight. I said to the lady, what the hell is wrong with you? You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. You get any man in the world. Why do you want me so bad? She said, because I've never met a man in my life. Out here in L.A. is all boys. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, I'm from Universal Studios. I said, yeah. And? She said, yeah. Well, when you worked around Universal Studios with me, she said, without telling me, you always made sure that my pocketbook was in between me and you. When I walked around Universal Studios, even though I did zigzag to look at every freaking store, she always made sure that I was up against the wall. She said when you went to Gladstones, the maitre d' guy wanted to put us like in a beautiful table right in the front. And you said, no, I want the table closest to the kitchen. And they put us right next to the kitchen help guys. She said, and then I saw when you were eating, you were constantly scanning the room. She said, you had a conversation, but you knew what you were doing. I said, yes, there were 3 ways out that building. There's the way it was out the kitchen. I said, I seen where the attic access was, and I could have thrown a chair through that window. There was 3 ways out of that restaurant for us. She said, yes. She said, I've never been with a guy who would actually give a shit. Instead of just sitting down, eating his shrimp cocktails or whatever, eating his steak, and not giving a hoot in the world, exit accesses. If the kitchen blows up, we got the window. Somebody comes in the front door, there's the attic access. She said, you made sure you knew everything was going on at all times. That's right. And we went through Universal Studios. She said, I've never seen nothing like this. I said, ma'am. I said, look, I am not unique by a long shot. I said, the problem is, lady, you're from L.A. You're from Los Angeles. I'm from New York City. If you go to New York City, you'll find millions of guys like, we're not some exotic creatures. We just happen to come from New York City, and we just know how to act. Now, if I was from Fiji or from the Hawaiian Islands, I'd act like a guy from Fiji and not have a care in the world. Expect my food to wash up on shore every day. I wouldn't expect the guy from Fiji to go to work every day because I'd expect them to like, duh, the fish are going to wipe on our shore here in 20 minutes. Why are you worried about food? Why are you worried about making a job or work? God provides us the food. He wants us on the beach every day. We don't have to do shit. So like I said, what I do is a lifestyle. So when people like say a Dean Clifford thinks he's just going to walk in the court and pull his act, it ain't going to work. Or pull the act that I pull, it ain't going to work. Like Gus. Gus acted a lot more like me. When he went to court, he was more calm. I'm sure he wasn't accusing people of things. I'm sure he wasn't objecting to anything. I'm sure he was just saying, like I say, hey, look, I'm here to settle a debt. Who's the man who said I've done something wrong? I'm just here to compensate anybody who claims I've done wrong. If I've done something wrong, I apologize profusely. But this legal nonsense, I don't have a clue what you people believe I've done or didn't do in some sort of legal concept. But I do know as a man that I do owe an obligation and a duty to not cause harm to my fellow man. Is there any man here that I owe a debt to? Is there any man who's going to come forward and say I've done something wrong? I'm sure Gus handled it, great. Maybe not as simply as I do it, but I'm sure he basically had the basic premise of what I do and how to say it. So, but like, just because you know these words, and just because I show you guys these words or write it for you guys, you still got to go out there and perform. Just because you know Shakespeare, just because you know every word in Othello, you're still not Orson Welles. You're not Orson Welles. You're not Laurence Olivier. You're not Lawrence Fishburne. You're not going to win an Oscar. Just because you know Shakespeare, they're not going to give you the Academy Award. Just because you know it as well as the other guy does, you still got to get out there and perform and convince the people. This is a effing show. This is the land that we live in. This is performance theater. You don't like it? Hey, it's the third dimension, and this is what God threw you in. This is what you got to deal with. You can cry and whine all you want. Say, hey, I don't give a shit. Nobody gives a shit. The people who got the guns, the people who are running the show, this is the performance they expect of you, and you better perform. You better dance. You better do what they tell you to do, because they got the guns. And right now, unfortunately, they're in control. Oh, well, too bad. That's the going to deal with it. Nothing you can do about it. You can say, well, look what happened, 500 years ago, Inquisition time. Deal with it. No matter what what you believe, it's freaking flat, dude. Why? Because he's going to kill you. Well, he's wrong. I don't give a shit if he's wrong. I don't give a shit what he's doing. You better play the game so that man is not afraid of you. You show them, Dean, that you're going to come in like Dean said on the phone when he was in jail. I can't wait to get out of jail. I'm going to get every single one of these effing judges that did this to me. I'm going to get every single one of these fuckers. Well, guess what, Dean? They're not going to let you go because you're threatening them. Instead of saying something like, wow, what an opportunity God gave me. I got to go to jail, and I got to go teach. I met the Moral Brotherhood. I wouldn't have met the Moral Brotherhood on the street, but you know what? These guys, freaking run to jail. You know what? They like me. We started rapping. We started bullshitting with each other. Next thing I know, man, they're baking me cupcakes. I can't do no wrong. So we opened up a great dialogue. They taught me stuff. I taught them stuff. You know what? What a great 16 months. They're going to hear me say, I can't wait to burn all these bastards that put me in here. Not one time did they ever hear me say, I'm going to burn these bastards that stole my children. No, God's going to burn. I don't want them to pay the debt to me. I want them to go for all eternity without paying the debt. If they don't pay the debt, they're stuck with that for the rest of eternity. They better settle up the score in this dimension, in this lifetime, or they're going to. To me, this is my crazy belief that if you don't square it, meet on a plane, meet a square, whatever you want to call it, if you don't square it up with your fellow man, you bear the burden for all eternity for the wrong. So I'm going to square the debt. I want to leave on a plane. That's just the way I roll. If you don't believe it, okay, that's just my style. It's not to say that I'm right, it's not to say I'm wrong. But that's the way I roll. So like I said, if Dean sees that kind of stuff, the judges are also witnessing this. They're watching this guy perform. They want to see, is this man a danger to society? Is he a danger to the court system? Is he a danger to me, the judge? Am I going to be in danger from this guy? Is this guy just totally off his rocker? Is he going to get a whole bunch of people and hurt me? So like I said, when a lot of people, whenever you try to meet somebody like that, it's like an old saying that we'll meet upon a level and we part on a square. It's a very, it's like I said, I want to meet you on a level playing field, like we're equal, and then when we walk away, everything's going to be square. There's nothing that's going to be owed to anybody. We're going to be fine. It's just that we meet as equals and we part as trusted friends. And not only do we part as trusted friends, but you don't owe me a debt. I don't owe you a debt. You haven't done nothing wrong to me. I haven't done nothing wrong to you. So, like I said, it's funny. I can't believe Mark didn't say something from Atlanta when I just said that he didn't understand what I just said.
I heard you.
So what does it mean, what I said?
From what you just said, I've heard it in a different aspect.
Yeah. How did you hear that?
It's more of a question it's a challenge to a brother, are you on the square?
Yeah.
And then to be challenged back is what you're looking for. But
I'd say, are you more on the level?
Okay.
And that's the way I would look at it. Because
you said something after that. You said something after that sounded like it was written a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's actually 3 parts of that. Right. They talk about the plane as well.
And who wrote about that?
Yeah, well, you know and I know, so that's fine. But I'm just saying, it's just some stuff. It's just some stuff that It's
wow.
like, we meet on a level, okay? Like, we're all equal, okay? It's like almost an anarchy kind of thing, self-governing. And this is the plane that we meet upon, okay? The 3rd dimension, okay?
Carl, keep going. I'm gonna cut out because I'm headed home and just got to finish work. But I'll cut
okay,
out.
but you know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about when you meet on a level. You met on a level, you meet on a plane, and you leave on a square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time we meet, we'll be square. There will be no.
There's no debt, no controversy between us. It's fairly simple. And this is just a lifestyle. I mean, this is a very old custom and tradition. This goes back thousands and thousands of years. We meet level. We're man to man. We're in the image of God. We're both level. I don't care where the hell you're from, or that's why it was very important to have certain symbols to represent, so you could see your brother from a mile away. He could be black, Asian, but everybody knew when you saw a certain symbol, like Mark was trying to say, that we meet on, we met on the level. We met on a level playing field. We're meeting on a plane, we're balanced out, and we're going to leave on a square. To me, it was like we're going to meet this square. Nobody's going to owe a debt to anybody. We squared the debt with each other, right? Everybody's cool. Everybody's cool. So, like I said, Dean should have been going for more of an opportunity like that to meet other like-minded people who might be in jail. I mean, I don't mean talk about the rapists and the muggers and the baby rapists and stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of decent people in jail who are just there for stupid reasons, like having guns possession or drug possession, stupid things that they just didn't know how easy it was to get the hell out. And that would have been a great opportunity for Dean to help these people. Now, I don't know if he just kept doing his trust stuff, and people in jail just said, dude, this is just too complicated. Because Dean's stuff is like, dude, this is just too complicated. Oh, yeah, I got a great letter from a lady who got her kid out, a 43-year-old son, from being sentenced because she put in the family's trust into the court. Oh, it's a sterile letter, man. And I know it's here in my truck. Damn. It was a great letter, man. It was a classic. This is one that you staple to the wall for the rest of your life. What happened was the lady said she goes to court, and she put a notice of trust into the court, and the kid's trial started coming up. And so the kid, he's a 43-year-old man, and his trial's on. And she says that she's, when she had an opportunity to speak, she explained to the court that her son was in trust. And did they get her notice? And they said, yes, we got her notice, and lovely. That's a lovely notice, blah, blah, blah. The mom says, like, the son yelled at me and said, Mom, stop your crazy shit. So I stopped my crazy shit. And the trial proceeded. Well, the son went then for sentencing, like a week or two later. I'm just trying to remember exactly what the letter said. So then the son had to go for sentencing, like a week or two later. So he was supposed to, go off to jail. So what happened was he came home and told his mom, the court gave me back this notice to give it back to you. And the court says, we don't know what to do with this. So he didn't go to jail. He was supposed to be going there for sentencing. He was supposed to be going to jail. But the judge got the notice of a trust. The judge can't examine the trust. They can't define the trust. They can't explain the trust. It's not in their jurisdiction or their control. When there's a trust, the government, IRS, everybody else, that's the angle everybody in England is trying to do. They're trying to use a trust to keep their inland revenue service from the IRS from taking their money by saying all this stuff is in trust. All the stuff that they have is in trust, which is a brilliant tactic, which is fine. Now, have they mastered it over there in the UK? I highly doubt it. But like I said, this little lady did. She wrote a very simple notice of trust. Hey, that's what I got to do. If the lady's listening to my show, send me a copy of that notice of trust that you put into the court. I think that'd be funny as hell to see exactly what you wrote and how you wrote it. I think that'd be a lot of fun for me to read it. But she said that,
Carl, you breaking up, Carl.
That guy Greg from Chicago. He was friends with the groundskeeper for Ron Blagojevich. So we wanted to use Ron Blagojevich, the governor of mayor, whatever it was, Chicago, Illinois, whatever it was, we were going to try to, here's the governor, we were going to try to get him out by claiming that he was entrusted to his wife, and that for her to function, as a government, like to be able to, govern, to move, to operate, she was going to require his immediate release from an inferior government called the United States of America government, the U.S. government, that he was going to have to return to a higher government. The higher government would be obviously that to the government of man, in the eyes of, God, marriage, that we were going to ask for his immediate return. And but like I said, the groundskeeper was an Albanian, very emotional kind of guy, and he got into a fight with Blagojevich's wife, and he quit. So we weren't able to. We were trying to convince her to let's try this, because why not? He's looking at whatever 10, 20, 30 years anyway. What's it going to hurt? So like I said, this guy, his 43-year-old man, thought his mom was crazy and that he had a lot to lose if she didn't shut up for that stupid trust stuff. He thought she was out of her mind, that he thought his mom was out of his mind. And it was just going to be really bad for him if she didn't shut the hell up. Like I said, he lost the trial. He was found guilty, and he was supposed to be sentenced in a week or two. When he came back, the judge said, you're free to leave. Give this back to your mom. We don't have a clue what to do with it. So she sent me the letter and said, my son had to give back the letter, give me back the notice. I put it to the court because she was entrusted to her. And the judge knew this. The judge knows this. I guarantee the judge didn't know it, who was sitting on the bench at the time. I guarantee what the judge had to do was like, I'll take this into consideration, or, I'll take this under advisement. Like he's going to call up somebody and find out what the hell are you talking about? I've never seen nothing like this. So I guarantee the judge was either like, I'll take it in under advisement, or I'll take it in under consideration, So and then when the judge actually looked into it, that's what happened with me in Bali. The first judge at the preliminary knew exactly what I was doing. He didn't have to take it under advisement. He didn't have to step off the bench. He didn't have to take an hour or two delay to go do some research. The first judge knew exactly what I was doing. The second judge, he took an hour and a half for lunch, and he took about another hour and a half before the final ruling. Like we broke for lunch around like 11, came back at 12:30. We broke at 2 o'clock, and we came back around 3:30. So the judge was doing a lot of calling up a lot of friends, calling a lot of people, saying, just what the hell is this crazy guy from the United States of America doing? Did anybody ever hear this crap? But the first judge at the preliminary, he didn't need to take no time out. He didn't need to go take it under advisement. He knew exactly. When he saw that little notice I put in, he knew exactly what that notice read. I didn't have a claim for Bali at that time, right? Because I wanted Bali to make the claim. But I had the notice ready that we were just taking it to Queen's Bench. We were just, taking the fight to the next level, to a higher authority. That's what we were doing. If we were in the land of Judea, well, the crown is the highest authority. Since we're in the land of the Church of England, Christian land, the church is the higher authority. So we're just moving it to a higher authority because we just happen to have the ability to, because we just have to be standing upon the land of the United Kingdoms. We weren't in the city of London. We could evoke a higher power, higher authority, that of over the crown. And the judge knew it. It was simple. And he warned the crown prosecutor. Do you understand this guy's going to eat you for lunch if he gets you in Queen's Court, in Queen's Bench? You understand that? And it's not a physical place. When Cole takes you into Queen's Bench. When Cole, he's doing Queensberry rules on you. You're doing judo. Crown, you're doing judo. You do understand this guy's going to be going Queensberry rules on you. You do know that, right? You know you're going to get your ass kicked. Because this guy's allowed to do this, this, and this. And you're not allowed to do crap. This is all you're allowed to do. Cole's allowed to free will. Cole's allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants. He's going Queensberry rules on your ass. You do know this, right? And that guy looks like he can do Queensberry on you real well. I think he understands. He's fully confident in Queensberry rules to kick your ass, clown. You're doing judo, clown. He's going to kick your ass. He can punch you in the nose. You can't punch him in the nose. And I think this guy, when he punches you in the nose, you're going to lay out. I think he's going to knock you out in one shot. And the crown was like, no, I'm a judo expert. And the judge was like, well, I don't have to explain to you. In the entire history of England, in the last 700 years, the crown has never prevailed in Queen's Bench. And it's never happened. What makes you believe that this will be a first in English history? Like, what makes you think that this is the first time a judo expert is going to beat a boxer who does Queensberry rules? How do you think this is going to play out? How do you think you're going to pull this off when it's never happened in the history of England? So the first judge knew exactly what I was pulling. And they could read it, and they could see it in my attitude. I was just smiling. I was just laughing. And Bali and all his buddies and friends and family and backup people who came there, were all screaming and cursing. and saying, motherfuckers are doing it again to us. They're not talking to us. They're saying they don't see the notice, and they're holding it right now. They don't see it. I said, that's not what it means. It means they don't understand it. It's not visibly impaired. They said that this is railroad game call. Your shit ain't going to work. I said, would you just shut the fuck up? Everything's going fine. If you just shut the fuck up, you bunch of clowns. And then that's when the judge, did the old, you can see right there clearly, and that's when I had to throw them all out of the courtroom. Because you hostile to me, which means that we get to go downtown on you assholes. So the bailiff started moving in. It's like, holy shit, here we go. This is going to get ugly. And I said, I got this. So I started throwing them out of the courtroom. And I said, dude, we were winning in that, asshole. Would you people just fucking believe me? They're like, no. They're doing it. Dude, you don't know what I'm doing. You don't know what the King's doing. You don't know what the Queen's bench is about. You don't understand the rules that I'm evoking. Would you people just shut up and let me do what I do? So it was just a lot of fun. Like I said, if Dean doesn't understand the rules and he's going into a fight, it's like, dude, you do have your case before the court. You do have your case in that public courtroom, right? Well, no, I don't. Well, then you're not going to be heard. What? You're in a boxing ring, dude. Yeah, but your hands are tied. You can't fight back. You can't move. You're a defendant. You stand there and take a beating. The guy's got a perfect case against you. He's got evidence, he's got facts, and he's got the legal code, which is their law. He's got a complete and perfect case against you. I don't give a fuck what you say. You have to tell him, well, no, you got the wrong guy, you at the wrong house. You better say something that's going to rock their socks. Not I'm a man and also the nonsense. You ain't got your case, buddy. You're not a man. You're defined as defendant at this point in time on planet Earth. You better explain to them in your case that's before the court, in your suit to the court, what you are and who you are and why you're there today. Just effing crazy. But like I said, man, I don't know why he, I don't know. I really don't fucking care. Because this is the destiny God bestowed upon him. This is what God willed him. This is where God wanted him to be. I'm where God wants me to be. God's where the dean's supposed to be. Everybody's where they're supposed to be. I believe in that. That things happen for a reason. And if maybe, if God saw that it would be a great and worthy thing for me to go to jail, that's where I'd be. If he says, like, Carl, look, you can do a lot more help inside than you can do outside. I'm going to need you to go. And then if I go, I go. And I understand why. It's like, this is what God wants. This is what God wills. This is what is to be. And you just play your role the best you can.